He scored so fast that I don't know how many people even got my joke, but I immediately went to Twitter and I was like, what an opening drive by Purdy. Yeah, let's get into our impressions of this. And no, I'm not look, it'll probably sound that way at times. I'm not really in on what has happened seemingly across the Bay, whether it's Purdy, whether it's Mac Jones, whether it's Jonathan Kuminga, and whether it's Brandon Pajemski. There are these little fights that the fan bases have that are based on individuals only, as opposed to just kind of like what's best for the team and let's root for the team. So I don't have any designs on any Purdy victory lap today. It's one game. It's a football game. But I thought it was wonderful to have him back. I think the 49er offense clearly has at least another pitch that it throws a little bit better when Purdy is in there. Wonderful to see him healthy. Wonderful to see him come out healthy, not float balls. You're not wrong. I didn't think it was a perfect performance. He had a couple throws that could have, should have been picked. Picks don't really bother me in that way. Like, I think that, you know what I mean? Like I said, Lamar, Josh, Patrick, they all got picked yesterday. You can throw a pick or two in the game, depending on the time. Like, I want you to be aggressive out there. But that's all. Like, I think it's a day for me to just tell you what's in my mind and heart about the Niner quarterback position. I'm bummed that Brock Purdy hasn't been able to seemingly get more of the fan base on his side with what he's been able to do over the last 3.5 years. The Niners didn't have a hot hand to ride. They had a job to give back to their multi-million-dollar franchise quarterback, and he walked out on the field, and about 2 throws in, I felt like he reminded everybody how good he can be. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, he was good. He was better than fine. He wasn't spectacular. He didn't have to be. Yesterday was about complimentary football, and it starts with Sky Moore, and Sky Moore takes it to the 1, and you punch it in, and you go up 7-0, and the defense forces a punt, and you get the ball back, and then, couple of boom, boom, boom. Shanahan was in his bag early. Now you're up 13-0. I'm sorry, 13-0.
Yep.
Well, the PAT was blocked,
yep.
And I don't think that's on Eddie per se. And so, you are 2 possessions in. You had a total of, 6 plays, and you had 2 touchdowns. And so it was game over. So Brock Purdy didn't have to be anything more than a game manager. And people hate that phrase, but that's what it was from then on. It was basically, don't muck it up. And he didn't. And he had a couple of throws that were, why? Like throws into unnecessary duress, but he got away with it. And McCaffrey on the ground was good enough. And Brian Robinson, he chipped in here and there. And the defense was bend but don't break. And so that game to me was won in the opening 9 seconds when Sky Moore took it 98 yards all the way down to the 1.
No doubt.
That was kind of game over.
Well, I mean, for just the luxury that Brock had to basically start his first game back with essentially a 7-0 lead.
It's like he didn't have to do
anything. And he just... they scored so fast that I don't know how many people even got my joke, but I immediately went to Twitter and I was like, what an opening drive by Purdy.
Nice.
You turn around and give the ball to Christian and it's over. And then that kind of takes the, you know what I mean? Like, it takes the nerves out of it. Now, look, it could have ended up being 7-7. The Cardinals could have gone right down the other way, but they didn't. And so Purdy's first real drive was pretty good field position, not great, but pretty good field position, and he did really good things with it aggressively right away. And the signature throw of the game is the touchdown to Kittle in the corner of the end zone that did make it 13-0. And then now you're in a tilted game, and that changes everything. It relaxes everybody. It makes their play calling one thing. It makes your play calling one thing, and so that was wonderful for him. But I do think, to your point about some of the throws where you're like, oof, boy, don't do that. I just think that there are sort of 2 levels of quarterbacks in the NFL. And I've watched so much, maybe even more than normal this year around the league. The guys who are really in a flow with their team, they are considered to be kind of the creme de la creme, the top 10 QBs in the game. They will force it. They do. They push it a little bit. And I think that is one of his characteristics, and quite frankly, I'm cool with it. Brock is going to throw some picks the rest of the way. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But how did yesterday's offensive performance make you feel? And what sort of stood out? We can get to any of this, whether it's the quarterback or beyond. 888-957-9570. But here's what I'm getting at. Can I work through a couple of Boxer and Gerson work injury attorneys text line messages?
Yeah.
Like, here's one we hadn't mentioned yet. 707's like Sam Darnold in a huge game threw 4 interceptions yesterday. He threw 4 interceptions. Now, he was going up against a really good defense. They had a chance to win the game anyway. But again, like, nobody is like, wow, Sam Darnold, you ruined everything. Like, big-time quarterbacks, big-time teams that are winning games, you got to go out there and let it rip. You got to take some chances, and you're going to get a few picked off. But here's the one that this is like 2 different text messages that they get me. Maybe they shouldn't get me. 650, Brock Purdy played one of the worst teams in the NFL. Well, actually, it's the exact same defense that Mac Jones played week 3 and scored 16 points. Now, these things are not fully equal. Mac did not have George Kittle in that game.
And Mac did not get the ball at the 1.
He did not get the ball at the 1. He didn't get a 7-0 lead off of special teams. But one, it got 41 points. The other got 16. Yes, not all things are equal. Here's the next one. 415, man, are we really going to act like the coach didn't scheme up every play for Brock Purdy to have a wide-open receiver? He didn't have to throw the ball into a tight window. And when he did, what happened? I don't know what happened. He didn't throw any picks. Do you really believe that the coach doesn't scheme up all plays? Every single play that ever gets called is schemed up by the coach. Mac Jones didn't have open receivers. And I don't like, Mac was wonderful. He went 5-3. He did a great job at being a backup quarterback. What bums me out is that a portion of this fan base will never appreciate what Brock Purdy brings to the table, even when you see it. Even when you see it. It's the first time they scored 41 points in 2 years.
Right.
So
it's all very contextual because they got the ball at the 1, and then off the Lenore pick, they got the ball at the 14, and they scored there, and they scored off an onside kick. So it's not like they drove down like 80 yards 6 different times.
No question. But
so the point total to me is skewed by a lot of the circumstance.
No doubt.
Field position.
But how often did they use the punter in the entire game? I think once, if I'm remembering correctly.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Again, the offense moved at a higher level, in my opinion. Mac was wonderful. Mac was wonderful in his time. I thought the offense moved at a different pace, a different level, more layered, all of those things, and it bums me out that that people forget. People forget what Brock Purdy has achieved in a Niner uniform. Most fan bases love their winning quarterbacks. This one's got a lot of people that try to replace him.